Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to my finale update for my Frost Blades Trickster in Mayhem League. Currently level 97. Did pretty well. I was going to try to push for 100, but my brother and sister-in-law came to visit as a surprise this weekend, so kind of missed out there a little bit on playtime, but I got to enjoy some quality time, and I still did pretty well overall. I think I was the third highest ranked Trickster, the other two being the guys who were in the group that immediately rushed 100 basically on day 2 of the league. So a bunch of racers. And then I made the front page of PoE Ninja on the overall ranking. So did pretty well by my standards. I'm not a racer, none of that. But I'm going to quick do an Elder, and then I'm going to do a Delirious, just 20% Delirious, because if I do 40 or higher and the 35% less damage mod spawns, I might have to brick it. So I am not going to do, yeah, let's do it. We'll do it with Maven watching. So yeah, we'll do Maven. This could make it a lot harder depending on the mods. And if the 35% less damage taken mod spawns on the Elder here, I might have to switch over to Spectral Helix. But it's just Maim, which does nothing, and Fizz as Lightning, which does not a lot either. So basically, the only real issues with I probably should have used my, there you go, got behind him, and yeah, she's putting degen ground, which is kind of annoying, but we can kind of stay off of that. Alright, yeah, and then yeah, just the ground effects is what makes the Maven annoying for this, but I should be fine as long as there wasn't the less damage. The hinder and maim mods actually don't affect this build at all, because the minus movement speed just does nothing, because we're whirling blades everywhere. So it is largely irrelevant. I'm sitting right on top of the degen grounds, which is, I should probably go pop all those. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pop all those so they're not irritating me. Oop. But also, I should not be standing on them afterwards. Okay. Alright, let's pop all these and then not stand on them. And pretty soon here, I should be able to damage the Elder again. Oop. I keep going right on top of the degen grounds. I have a hard time seeing them on this particular map, just because it's all gray. It's really difficult to see where it is, and I basically just have to pay attention to whether or not I'm taking damage. Okay, so got that. And we will see if we got, hey, we did. Watcher's Eye, nice. Cool. Cool. All right, let's see. I did get a lucky Watcher's Eye earlier, so I'm just gonna ID this, toss it, and Purity of Ice and Pride. Actually, that's my second Pride double damage one. I got a 12%, which is pretty cool. All right, and then I'm just gonna quick do this Delirious Underground Sea to show the clear. So this time I'll show a boss and the clear. But yeah, that was pretty comfy. The 40% Fizz's Lightning, I mean, he doesn't do he has like 2 physical damage attacks, Elder does. Oh, whoa. Okay, I got stunned right away, right in a big pack of Harbingers. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Harbinger is spawned, so I won't really be able to just rush through to the end and do it like I normally would. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way and clear things. Probably not going to really pick anything up because, the league's about to end, so I'll just leave. Unless it's a Divine Orb, because I do need to keep re-rolling my Historic Jewel. But anything less than a Divine Orb, I'll just leave on the ground, basically. because loot is now irrelevant except for Watcher's Eye and Timeless Jewel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have all the gear I'm gonna need. I don't need currency anymore, except for Divines. Oh, I guess Exalts as well, because I can recraft my claw to have 1% more penetration than it has. But yeah, we'll just clear out all of these Harbies. Probably should have put influence on this too, although if I had done that, I might have died at that beginning part, because I just got stunned and blitzed immediately by several Harbingers, which was pretty exciting. But yeah, clear is pretty decent even. Oh, I didn't even check to see what mods. So we got Fizz is extra cold, and then haste. So attack. Oh, so I got double haste. Yeah. Yep, so that's probably the reason they were able to so immediately stun me, and why I should not stop holding my attack button when I'm near enemies. Because they have, what, 65% attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed. So yeah, these are some fast, hard. Oh, yeah. I went right on to, I'm not paying attention to the ground degens. That is a poor decision. Well, that wasn't a degen. The little lightning dudes that spawn from the storm weavers. Okay. I shouldn't have any problem freezing the boss. Oh, okay. Yep, I died. That was stupid. I should have backed off and fought from farther away. But yeah, this was a interesting map to be doing. So yeah, I should be back here and just fight my way back in, basically. I'm used to being able to, on most maps, I kill things so fast that I can just be in the center, and I'm doing it again. Okay. Okay, they're all cleared out. Man. Poor decisions. Uh-oh. I can't see what's going on. Alright, let's just try to stay at the edge. Alright, got one of them, and I'll focus the boss now. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Alright, so I guess, I don't know, I'm picking stuff up. Yeah, I guess that shows kind of the clear. Obviously not super, I'll do a little bit more. Just, there's not really, well, too much here to do, but yeah, I'll just do a little more. Normally I can just do that, just like zoom in, tap the attack button, zoom past. So yeah, I'll try to do that, but the Harbingers kind of put a wrench in things, especially when like 2 or 3 spawn on top of each other. It can be really annoying. Can also lag my game. I've had more lag deaths from Harbinger. You saw a little bit of it in there in the boss room, where I'm sure you did, probably. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going through. Yeah, and I would normally just keep whirling blades through, tap, etc. Yeah, you get the point. This is good enough. Just get out of here. Okay, so that was the boss kill. That was the clear. Got everything there. So let's go over the gear. Claw upgraded. I got for like right after I filmed the last video, I found a tier 2 added cold damage prefix. I never found a tier 1 fractured one, which makes sense because even though this was trade league, there were not a lot of people trading. Everything was just pretty much the whole league. Everything was kind of feast and famine. But I got that, and then I spammed the crit chance essences and got the tier 1 crit chance, of course, but I also did it until I got a good attack speed roll. I happened to get tier 1 with an open prefix, so I crafted the penetration. So this was my weapon. It's, you know, obviously it's not super ideal. I'd want tier 1 cold, but I mean the attack speed and crit chance are very good. I'd like crit multi as my 3rd suffix, but I unfortunately got lightning resist. That happens. So yeah, Exact same helmet, been using the same heat shiver. I found a bunch of heat shivers though. Some that were probably better rolled, but I didn't want to run lab again to get another enchant, so I got that going. Currently has a Geomancer's incubator on it. I've had Tribal Fury on my yoke for quite some time now. And yeah, if I'm gonna continue to use Southbound, which I was planning on doing until about 12 million, and I'm currently POB DPS is for regular maps 10.3 million, and if I had not been lazy and I had actually leveled gems in my offhand to get 21 20s of all of my gems, I would have 11.5 million. So I'm losing about 11% DPS strictly because I was just too lazy. And for a second I thought, oh, I can just buy them, but then, you know, this isn't exactly like an actual trade league. I haven't made any actual trades in the last probably 5 days. I think maybe the Claw, but other than the Claw, which was literally 5 days ago, I don't think I've made any trades at all. This body armor is new. So this one's really interesting. I actually crafted this with the Loathing Essence. I actually had been using Greed, but I ran out of Greed, so I'm like, I'm just going to spam random other essences, see what I get. Happened to hit physical damage reduction, high life, some lightning resist, and an open prefix on that. So on the Loathing Craft. So I'm like, this is really good. I'm probably not going to replace this anytime soon. I then put the melee have chance to fortify. I ended up deciding to use gain endurance charge every 15 seconds because with Trickster, you have 200% increased charge duration. So basically, your endurance charges last 30 seconds, and you get a new one every 15 seconds, which refreshes the duration, meaning you're literally always, after the first 45 seconds, and you can put a higher tier to make it happen even faster, but after the first 45 seconds, I just permanently have 3 endurance charges. So that gives me a total of 17% additional physical damage reduction. Compared to the initial guide I did to this, I went from like 14k or so physical damage hit with Steel Skin Up and like 8k without to 23,000 physical damage max hit with Steel Skin Up, and it's like 15k. I have more physical damage without reduction without Steel Skin than I did with Steel Skin on my previous character that went pure evasion. So that's very helpful. I was able to tank my nemesis, the Ground Slam Rogue Exile. It's like Xanthius Darkblood or something. I don't remember. It starts with an X, I'm pretty sure. But the one that can't miss and that I've been having a lot of troubles with, I took like 5 or 6 attacks with him, from him. And that was with Fizz's extra lightning too. And they all hit, of course. And yeah, I was fine. So I can take, I mean, the Fizz's extra lightning's not really much of anything, but yeah, it was good. So going hybrid armor evasion for the body armor and shield was a good call because the extra physical damage reduction is nice. I didn't have my shield crafted last time. This is not great, but I didn't want to risk not having it. I had to put spell suppression here and also on a cluster jewel. I have untouchable again because I decided to spec out of instinct so I could get cluster jewels. I never got a good cluster jewel. I never got a Watcher's Eye I could use, and I never got a good Lethal Pride. The best Lethal Pride I had two offensive upgrades, which was 130% crit chance and 115% crit multi, and I wish I had just kept it because this one's doing nothing for me. Totem placement, strength, totem damage, Warcry buff effect, fire res, armor, enemy stun threshold. This is the only useful node to me, which is the reduced extra damage from critical strikes. I would even like fortify. Yeah, even the ones nearby aren't good. There's a crit chance here, but I'm not going to go get that either. So yeah, overall just poor luck. I farmed like 6 or 7 4-ways. I only got this one single lethal pride. I also used 5 divines on this to try to roll new ones. Another interesting one I had 2 of the reduced extra damage from critical strikes and 4 1% regen on it, which was actually very interesting and kind of helpful defensively, because normally I rely 100% on leech. So having like 120 regen or whatever it ended up being was kind of fun for a little while. Anyway, moving on. This ring is awesome. Okay, so I just straight up got this dropped from a syndicate encounter. It had everything except for the cold damage craft that I have and the fire and chaos resist already on it. So this was literally just dropped with tier 1 life, tier 1 fire res, tier 1 chaos res, and what, like tier 3 evasion? Yeah, tier 3 evasion. And then when I unveiled it, it also hit fire and chaos resist. So this, without any quality, is 56, I think, chaos resist, or 52 chaos resist, and a lot of fire resist, like 90 something total elemental resist, I think. So with the fire and cold mostly being fire, like straight up like almost 80 fire res, and then another 15 cold res. So this ring's probably one of the best rings I've ever, or one of the best items I've just had drop from a syndicate encounter, just flat out as a baseline drop. Really cool. Really happy to have this because it puts my chaos resist as 30 without, and or 30 against regular hits and everything, and 70 against damage over time, which is near max. And when I went to do like Chayula breachstones and stuff, I would just spec out of a couple things and put them here, and I would have insane like 52 chaos resist, which was, you know, more than enough to tank Chayula, the high level Chayula, the pure Chayula. I did 3 lab runs. I hate doing lab runs, so I didn't do too many, but I did the cold damage. If you've been hit recently, it's fine on my Atziri's step, which I'm still using. Belt, I changed to a Stygian Vice because I got the Lethal Pride, which gave me more strength, so I didn't need to use the heavy belt anymore. Still needed a little strength. Honestly, this is pretty bad, and I could have replaced it at any time, but I just never did. I just kept it. It's fine. It's good enough. The jewel I have in it, I just crafted like an hour ago. I had a much worse one that only had like a cold damage roll, and then the only other beneficial thing it had was like attack speed if you've crit recently or something. But this one has life, accuracy, and then double tier 3 cold damage rolls. So in fact, I think it's all just tier 3, tier 2 accuracy, but the rest, but low roll, the rest is tier 3 mod. So it's not great, but it has all the right stuff. I'd obviously like tier 1s of everything, but it's not too bad. Southbound, once I got Tribal Fury, Southbound went in full time. I also did end up adding Ancestral War Chief at a certain point, and Defiance Banner, because I got the increased reservation efficiency and happened to have the Hatred roll instead of a Frostbolt roll. I had so much mana reservation efficiency that I was able to do a few things. First of all, I was able to finally level up my Assassin's Mark, which I kept at level 4 for a long time, which gave me another 15% crit multi, which is really good. And it also allowed me to run Defiance Banner, which does a lot, like the armor evasion, and then the reduced crit chance from nearby enemies. So very, very good there too. With all the flasks up, still only just over 30,000 evasion, but we do have a lot more physical damage mitigation and a little bit of armor, which is only relevant because we have some phys taken as elemental, and then the increased physical damage reduction. So this is going to be, this amount of armor will help us a little bit against white mobs and not at all against, you know, anything else, but you know, it's something. It'll stop us from being one shot or blitzed down by like hordes of white mobs at least, or help a little bit against that at least. And all of the flasks are the same, so I don't think I've made any changes to the flasks in quite some time, except here and there I put some quality on them with Betrayal, or with Syndicate rather. Yeah, I guess both Betrayal and Syndicate. But yeah, so I have 24, 24, and 22, which is kind of nice to have that longer duration with the increased flash charges gained. If I would have had increased flash duration, that would have synergized even better. But yeah, it's just nice for flask uptime. So that's pretty much it. I was able to 21 my hatred, which is I think the only thing I was able to 21 out of everything that I tried. Yeah. Oh, I 21'd my mark on hit, which gave me I think 1% increased effective marks as well, or 1% less reduced effective marks, I should say. It might not have even done that. So, yeah, nothing else has really changed. Bone Chill Hydrosphere, still low level Hydrosphere. Oh yeah, I'm not running minus mana cost. That's the other thing that having the extra Hatred Reservation on top of the shield did, is now I have enough free mana to hit with my Assassin's Mark, hit with my Frost Blades, still have some left over, so I start leeching, and so I don't have to run minus mana cost on my rings anymore. So that's cool. I did 20% my Circle of Fear. I did Divine a couple of times on this because my rolls were so bad. I got a very slightly overall above average one. I guess, okay, so I got 55 cold damage while affected, 46 increased buff effect. So those are 1% above average, but then the flat cold rolled really low. So I guess it's probably worse than average. Circle of Fear with these, but I didn't get any more of them. I only ran a couple. I didn't focus on synthesized maps really after this. So yeah, the elemental damage from attack skills and the life on hit are quite good implicits though, so I'm still very happy with this. I would have, you know, I think I only dropped like a total of 9 or 10 divines throughout the whole league, even with all the extra juice and everything. So I didn't have enough to divine this to get good rolls, and also my Lethal Pride. Obviously in a trade league you wouldn't be using divines like that, but because, you know, this is a temporary void league, I just freely use divines to help myself. You probably would do that in solo self-bound, by the way, unless you did want to just continue kind of farming for the exact same gear. But yeah, in a regular trade league, you would never be using divines on your Circle of Fears and Lethal Prides. You would just be using them to buy better ones. So, yeah, that's all the gear and stuff. Skill tree, a couple of changes, not really too many. Still running the Intuitive Leap. I went over the Lethal Pride. It's terrible, but it's there. I actually changed these 2 masteries over to give increased effective non-damaging ailments you inflict with crits and increased effective non-damaging ailments. I kind of mathed around a little bit, so I was only shocking bosses for like 32% before I did this, before I switched this one. So even with this, because I don't have the medium cluster jewel that's going to give me the increased effective non-damaging ailments, and because my damage isn't that high, it's only 10 million right now, I wasn't doing 50% shock. So I'm like, I think 50% shock is worth more than 8% exposure, because I have enough, you know, penetration through other means at this point. I mean, kind of. I guess I don't have Scorch, so maybe not. It's probably pretty close, but I did like being... I've been able to max chill forever because Flash Freeze gives extra of that and everything. It's a little bit easier to hit the chill threshold as well because it maxes out at 30, but it has the same kind of breakpoints, I think, whereas Shock maxes out at 50. So, but yeah, I had to do this just to get max shocks on mostly everything. There's a few things I can't max shock if they roll like the 35% reduced damage. Cluster Jewel, this was the best Cluster Jewel I found. I farmed for Cluster Jewels for quite a while, never got a really great one, but this one, you know, it's sufficient. It's a 9 passive, which isn't ideal. It's low item level 79, so I can't even roll 3% attack and cast speed. Maybe I could have. I don't know, actually. I don't know where the breakpoints are. I know 84 is to get the highest tier, but yeah. So I just made do with it. I didn't even roll it too much. I just kept Prismatic Heart because at the time I needed Elemental Resist. I don't at all anymore. I really did a lot to make sure that. Corrosive Elements is also kind of redundant, but it makes it so I don't really have to use Hydrosphere while mapping. I mostly just put Hydrosphere down for bosses for the Bone Chill now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I talked about this small cluster jewel, just an evasion one with not super great stats for me, really. But it has untouchable, which I need. So I have 100% suppression, not including Revenge of the Hunted now. Because of that, sometimes you just kind of have to work with what you got, and I never got great spell suppression gear, so I had to, craft spell suppress here and get this extra jewel. Unfortunately, that's the tree. As far as the strategies that I used to get this to this point, I've been doing this for a while. So from here on out, my 3 goals would be get experience, which would be just blasting kind of simple maps. In fact, I could even put Wellspring of Creation if I got just a little bit more damage, just to make it safer, just if I was going to push for 100. And then my 2 other major goals were get a good Timeless Jewel and get a Watcher's Eye, any like good damage Watcher's Eye, whether that be Precision, Hatred. Oh, I actually forgot some important things. I should go back. I got these really good jewels. This one I just crafted using the cold. In fact, I crafted both of these jewels with the cold, but this one I actually found. It was just Fractured Max Life Roll, and I used the cold recraft and happened to hit regular global crit strike multi and cold skills crit strike multi, which is really nice. And the stun and block recovery are not completely wasted because stuns are one of the few. I might have died right at the beginning of that last map if I didn't have this, basically. And then this one, I got a Fractured Melee Crit Strike multi, and multi with cold skills and cold damage, and cold resist, using Cold Reforge from Harvest. So, pretty thematic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to try to chase 100 within the next day, more than likely. So this will be my finale. What I plan on doing upcoming, I want to make a full step-by-step leveling all the way to Pinnacle guide for this build that'll cover everything except Uber bosses. The only way you can do Uber bosses with this build is basically just pile on more currency. Once you hit like 100 divines worth of gear, you're basically kind of within striking range and have to make a few more upgrades here and there, like maybe a double Hatred Watcher's Eye, which could cost, possibly hundreds of divines by itself, or an absolutely perfect Mirror Tier Claw, or there's a few things like perfect jewelry. On my main build there was still plenty of stuff I could upgrade, and I was to the point where I could freeze Ubers, but I had to do things like switching a southbound glove, which caused some other problems. So that's pretty much the point, but getting up to Pinnacles is very easy on this build. It's just because of the mechanics of needing to freeze to get all the damage from Heat Shiver and to get your shocks and stuff, you need a lot of gear to do Ubers with this build. Unfortunate truth, but it's really good for everything else. Excellent for farming regular Pinnacles and really fast mappers. So very happy with how this build turned out. Once again, happy with my progress. I also plan on doing Frost Blades Heatshiver builds for other classes, and I'll probably also play 1 or 2 days of the Delve event. I don't anticipate playing much of it because I don't really like delving that much, but if anything interesting happens, I'll probably do an update video or 2 on that as well. So if you want to see those things, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, this has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.